Hello and welcome to the GMAP training video series. My name is Erin Sudduth and I'm the branch manager for the Title I Part A Support and Improvement branch at the Kentucky Department of Education. This video includes instruction on the Introduction District Requirements page in GMAP. Once again, I've logged into our GMAP test site as a test district for the demonstration. After logging in, I navigated to the current consolidated application and selected the Introduction District Requirements page from the Sections page, both of which are covered in the General Overview and Tips video. The Introduction District Requirements page contains 7 questions about the district's Title I Part A plan. The information on this page is required of districts receiving Title I Part A funds under ESSA Section 1112. The district must ensure that each question is answered and that it has or will carry out the activities described. Please note that not all of these questions on the page may be required for every district. Questions that may not be applicable are indicated as such, and districts should enter NA if the question does not apply to them. There's no required length for these responses, but an insufficient response could result in the application being returned as not approved. Be sure to provide a thorough explanation, maybe a paragraph, with some details that answer all aspects of the question. Question 1. Describe how this plan was developed with timely and meaningful consultation with teachers, principals, other school leaders, paraprofessionals, specialized instructional support personnel, charter school leaders in a local educational agency that has charter schools, administrators, including administrators of programs described in other parts of this title, other appropriate school personnel, and with parents of children in schools served under this part. Stakeholder feedback may have been gathered through face-to-face meetings, survey data, leadership meetings, or planning meetings. The goal should be to describe how this feedback was used in the plan's development. Question 2. Describe how this plan is coordinated with other programs under this Act, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, the Carl D. Perkins Career and Technical Education Act of 2006, the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, the Head Start Act, the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act, the Adult Education and Family Literacy Act, and other acts as appropriate. This coordination may occur through leadership meetings, stakeholder meetings, incorporating stakeholders' feedback representing those programs in planning processes, support for student needs across programs, etc. The goal should be to explain, in general, how these programs support each other. Question 3. Describe how the local educational agency will implement strategies to facilitate effective transitions for students from middle grades to high school and from high school to post-secondary education, including, if applicable, through coordination with institutions of higher education, employers, and other local partners, and through increased student access to early college, high school, or dual or concurrent enrollment opportunities, or career counseling to identify student interests and skills. Districts should be intentional in describing activities that promote coordination with institutions of higher learning, employers, and other local partners, and opportunities for students to receive early college credit and career counseling. Question 4. Describe how the local educational agency will support efforts to reduce the overuse of discipline practices that remove students from the classroom, which may include identifying and supporting schools with high rates of discipline, disaggregated by each of the subgroups of students, as defined in Section 1111C2. Those student groups are defined as economically disadvantaged students, students from major racial and ethnic groups, children with disabilities, and English learners. Question 5. If applicable, describe how the local educational agency will support, coordinate, and integrate services provided under this part with early childhood education programs at the local educational agency or individual school level, including plans for the transition of participants in such programs to local elementary school programs. This description can include transition activities designed to prepare incoming kindergarten students. Question 6. If determined appropriate, by the local educational agency, describe how it will support programs that coordinate and integrate academic and career and technical education content through coordinated instructional strategies that may incorporate experiential learning opportunities and promote skills attainment important to an in-demand occupation or industry in the state, and work-based learning opportunities that provide students in-depth interaction with industry professionals and, if appropriate, academic credit. We would expect to see a response here if the district is using Title I funds to support any of the programs described in the question. Question 7. As applicable, provide any other information about how the local educational agency proposes to use funds to meet the purposes of this part, and that the local educational agency determines appropriate to provide, which may include how the local educational agency will assist schools in identifying and serving gifted and talented students, and assist schools in developing effective school library programs to provide students an opportunity to develop digital literacy skills and improve academic achievement. And again, we would expect to see a response provided here if the district is using Title I funds to support either of the initiatives listed in the question. Remember that, in general, the purpose of Title I Part A is to serve the lowest achieving students. Funds may be used to prepare students who are at risk of failing to enroll in more advanced classwork. Since gifted and talented students overall would not be considered at risk of failing to meet state standards, the funds could not be used for activities for this group as a whole. Additionally, funds may be used to provide professional development for instructional staff about how to identify and better serve gifted students. For more information and tips on what to include in your responses, be sure to use the Help for Current page. Once you've answered all the questions, use the Save and Go To tool to save your work before navigating to another page. Thank you for watching the GMAP training video series.